Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Most of the African leaders are tilting toward China today. Most African leaders, they believe that China is a better alternative to the West. They support such with a different argument like China have not colonized Africa before. China offer a better business partnership. China does not have imperial tendency, and China do not interfere with local politics. They support those arguments, and because of that, they believe that China is a better alternative to the West. Now, my concern is that why do we need alternative to the West? Because alternative means that you have a certain thing that satisfies a certain need for you, and you believe that that thing cannot satisfy your need completely, so you shift to something else or some other partner that can satisfy that need for you. Now, for you to fully understand it, what is the need of Africa? That is first. If you understand the need of Africa perfectly well, you understand that we do not need alternative. Yes, you understand that we do not need alternative. You see, there's a question I want to ask. Most of the growth that happened in China today happened within the past 40 years. Yes, past 40 to 50 years. Most of the growth that happened in Dubai today happened within the past 40 to 50 years. Singapore was established and developed within a period of 30 years. Now, my question is, which partnership or alternative do China have that help them to develop to the stage that they are today? Because if I can remember perfectly well, when China started their development, they practiced what is known as protectionism. They closed their border. They did not seek for any partner. And today, they are the second largest, in short, I call them the biggest economy in the world today. What we do not understand is that when it comes to independence of a country, there are four facets of independence. We have the economic independence, we have the political independence, we have the cultural independence, and we have the technological independence. When the European came to conquer Africa, they tried to conquer all those areas. They do not just come and say, bow down to the imperial king. No. They tried to change our culture, to conquer our culture, and they brought Christianity. They took control of our economy, most of the trade. In short, the first company that we have was the Naya Area Development Company. That's why they say Nigeria is a company. Nigeria is a nation state. So they conquer our economy. They were into trading. They conquer our politics by placing their people in political position, and they were the supplier of African technology. So at the end of colonization, what the people, the European, did to Africa was to hand over political independence to African. The economic independence was still in their control. The cultural independence was still in their control. The technological independence is still in their control. And when you have political independence alone, there is not much you can do, but you can still do something with it. You can still do something with it. Now, let me explain that before I go back to China. You see, what this guy did was that the first set of African leaders that really understand colonization and have solution to it, these people eliminated those people and then plan people that will play to their roles, thereby distorting the direction of growth that Africa was going. They eliminate the first set of African leaders. People who understand what is colonialism and how to be truly independent, they eliminated them. So now, you don't expect China to come in with machine guns and start bombing African countries and taking them over. You don't expect China to come in and start interfering with local politics that may go against them. So their focus now is economic independence. They target economic facilities economic power. What they are trying to do is to achieve enough economic power in Africa. When the Chinese are able to achieve or acquire enough economic power in Africa, they can now use the economic power to influence political power. That's how it goes. They can now use that economic power to influence political power in Africa. You don't just, there's what they call strategy in doing things. People don't just stand up and do things. They sit down and plan and follow it serially till they achieve their ultimate goal. What black people do not understand is that whichever country come to this continent in the guise of help, they are not coming to help the black people. They are coming here to exploit, to do things that will favor them. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you. That's what we don't understand. So the Chinese people have looked at the whole scenario. They cannot come directly to take over political power, because that will involve using military, and they cannot afford that for now. Cultural power, they cannot come in directly because Christianity is rooted. I even heard that they are teaching Chinese language in some schools, so they come in gradually. So they focus on the economic power, and economic power is very powerful. That when you control economy of a country, when you control the money in a country, you automatically control the politics. So gradually, China will control the politics of Africa. That is the truth. The greatest alliance that African countries need is the African Union. That is the greatest alliance that African countries need. If the African people can form an alliance within themselves, let's buy our product, let's produce what we want, let's cooperate among ourselves against any foreign partner. The other day I listened to Dangote. He said that it is difficult for him to move his cement to Benin Republic. And see the distance, very close. But the Benin Republic are importing cement from China. Benin Republic, they are importing cement from China. But become difficult for Dangote that have a plant at Ogun State to move his cement to Benin Republic. Do you see the intrigues? So the greatest alliance that African people need is the African nations, is the AU, African Union, not China, not Russia. There's no country in the world, including the United States, that can sanction the entire Africa. So, you have formed alliance, okay, I will place sanction on Africa. There's no country that can do that. If you sanction the entire Africa, that nobody should trade with Africa, the world economy will collapse. If you sanction the entire 53 countries in Africa, that they should not trade with any other person, in short, it will even help the African people to become independent, because they will start to look inward. Oh, this toothpick, we used to import it, and they say they should not sell it to us again. Oh, let's produce it. Oh, that car, we used to import the engine and to build our car, and they said that we should not buy again. Nobody should trade with us. Let's see how to produce it. It will develop Africa, and there's nobody that can do it. So the only alliance that African people need is the African Union. Make the African Union a stronger organization with a single foreign policy that cover the entire African countries, and Africa will work. That is all. We do not need another master in China. Black people, why do you always need a master? Are you a slave?